UFC London is just wrapped up. Here is your full mount MMA recap.
Hello, it's Tom Aspinall. I'm here at UFC London. I'm octagon side. Make sure you tune in as well. It's going to be a good night.
What is happening, people? Paddy the Baddy Pimler here. I'm sat cage-side watching the UFC. Can't wait for my teammates to come out and put on a show. Let's do this, Nathan and Molly.
Here we are, UFC London. Time to work from the octagon. Check it all out. ESPN, we are live for UFC London.
On the prelims tonight, Guram Kutateladze had Khamzat Chimaev, Ilia Topuria, and Ilia's brother Alexandre Topuria in his corner. He ended up losing to Kawe Fernandez via unanimous decision.
I believe it's not the moment to call a name. I need to one more fight and I will call names. I need to show to Dana White my skills to prove I come in the ranking, come in the title shot, but only is my second win in the event and I need to show more to call a name.
Ilia Topuria fired back at Charles Oliveira during tonight's pay-per-view. Earlier this week, Charles stated that he believes he could knock Ilia out. Ilia wrote, "Charles, it's better if you stay quiet. You have 10 losses, 5 by knockout, 4 by submission, and 1 by decision. You are the contender, while I am the champion, the father of the entire division. I haven't come here to ask anything. Here, I am the one in charge." To kick off the main card tonight, Nathaniel Wood defeated Morgan Charriere via unanimous decision. Mayhem Miller reacted saying low-key, Wood f***ed up charcuterie. And Sadiq Youssef says what a fun fight.
Buzzing to get the win. Of course, you know, I've fought on Cage Warriors 3 times in the Indigo. I fought here 4 times. With that crowd, I don't think anyone on this planet could beat me in there. You know, when I've got that support, it really does spur me on. I'm gutted I didn't get the finish. You know, I'm like the decision king now, but I'm glad that I got the win. You know, I'd rather get a solid win than a loss. I like to think that I've shown that I've got very technical striking against someone like Morgan, who's very dangerous. He's a very high-level striker. Obviously, dropped him in the first. I don't know how it looked on camera, but I felt like there was no issues in there other than me trying to land my calf kick. So yeah, I felt like I put on quite a technical performance. Guy didn't get the win, but you know, I feel like I'm getting solid wins here against guys. You know, maybe not getting the finishes, but I'm showing that I'm levels above these guys. I didn't feel good going into that fight. My dad said to me before, he said, fight your game, you know, so I'm sitting there thinking, what's Morgan going to do? Is he going to do this? Is he going to do that? Opponents could change last minute. You know, I'm always thinking, what if? My dad said, play your game, do your thing, and let him figure out a game plan for you. So I'd like to think that's what I did. You know, I went in there and just took my dad's wise words and yeah, put on what I'd like to think was a decent performance.
Chris Duncan defeated Jordan Vucenic via guillotine choke in the second round. After the fight, he called out Terrence McKinney. Terrence responded saying, "Let's get it. Congrats on the win." Dustin Poirier reacted saying, "Don't be silly. Congratulations, Chris Duncan." Dustin is Chris's teammate, by the way, and Kenny Florian said some odd decision-making by Vucenic there.
Well, you know, Dustin was kind enough, you know, he's like showed me some tips and tricks when it comes to finishing the guillotine and also the hand position. The position I have my hands in, it's the most tightest, is like game over. You know, it's a little bit slower in the transition if I'm moving on to other submissions, but you know, it was Dustin that showed me the reverse handshake grip. You know, a lot of people doubted me this fight. A lot of people were saying, you know, this was going to be a walkover. Jordan's too fast. You know, he's too good, and you know, there was a lot of people online giving me snash and commenting me. So yeah, I was glad to prove them all wrong. Yeah, so I have the confidence to do that through my team and through the work I put in. Like the guys at the American top team are trying to pull me back. You know, I do too much. They pull me back, they fine tune me, and then they just let the leash off and I go in there and kill. No disrespect to Jordan, but you know, I manhandled him in there, and you know, I dropped him in the first. He elbowed me a couple of times on the ground when I shot a kind of sloppy takedown. That was kind of a bit silly on me, but you know, as you can see, you know, I'm an absolute beast when it goes in there. So probably Terrence McKinney. You know, that fight didn't happen a little while ago. We fight Terrence McKinney. You know, he's a very exciting fighter. I said Miami, but I didn't realise that was in 2 weeks' time, so I don't think that'll happen. But, you know, it'd be great to have Terence McKinney in the next couple months.
Alexia Thainara defeated Molly McCann via rear naked choke in the first round. After the fight, Molly announced her retirement from MMA.
I'm almost home.
I'm radiant and very thankful. You know, 7 days that we had to come in here and put on a great performance. You know, Alexia delivery, that's what I've been calling myself. So I told you guys that you're going to see a very charismatic, a very bubbly Alexia, and that's exactly what you got. For sure, you're always going to get a happy and fun Alexia. You know, I'm always going to do that. People at the gym in Virginia always say that I'm never sad, I'm never upset, and, you know, basically you do what's right and the right things are going to happen.
Deliver.
You know, that's Alexia delivery. You call and we deliver. That's basically what it is. And, you know, everyone, there's no color, white, black, yellow, whatever it is, man. We're fighting for the human race. And, you know, my teeth are beautiful. My mouth is smelling good. So, and other things too. So that's what it is. I think that she didn't imagine that she was going to get a debut fighter that was so happy and so into it and ready to go. So, you know, I train at Hiba's Family Academy. We got Amanda Hibas, who's ranked in 2 divisions. We have 30 girls over there. So, you know, Alexia delivery, there's the best matchmakers in the UFC. Whenever they call, I'm going to be here and I'm going to deliver.
This sport's given me everything. This promotion has given me everything, and it deserves that back. And I can't give it anymore. And this sport has shaped me and made me such a better person. And the 3 letters, the UFC, they deserve the best of the best, and that wasn't it. I can promote a fight, I can give everything in my life to get there, but that performance wasn't good enough, and that's how I knew it's time now. Things could have been a lot different if I'd won the last one or if I'd won this one, but it just feels right to bow out in my home country with all of my family, all of my team here, and yeah.
Kevin Holland defeated Gunnar Nelson via unanimous decision. Jamal Hill reacted saying, "Good dub, blunt bro." Henry Cejudo says, "How did all 3 judges give round 2 to Nelson?" with a facepalm emoji. Gilbert Burns reacted saying, "Man, Kevin Holland is so freaking long and underrated grappler. He should stay at 170. Terence McKinney says, yes. And Joaquin Buckley says, "Needed W for Kev, but you could have put Gunnar down. Congrats though."
Feels good. I mean, it was back and forth. So back and forth that I can't say I'm just totally happy with the performance. I'm just happy to get a win. Fight with more energy. I'm fought with so much energy. I'm spent back here. So yeah, fun fight, interesting fight. Definitely took a lot out of your boy. Got to work a little harder, get in better shape. I guess I showed the divisions I can grapple a little better than they think. Just can't fight guys that are like 40 pounds heavier than me and trying to grapple with them. That's not always smart. Yeah, just getting more wins. Just getting more wins would be exciting. You know, just staying after it and just building a win streak would be very, very good for me.
For the co-main event, Carlos Ulberg defeated Jan Blachowicz via unanimous decision. Ulberg is now on an 8-fight winning streak. Magomed Ankalaev says, "Congratulations, Carlos." He followed up with "Good win for Carlos, but Alex is next. He deserved it more than anyone." Jamal Hill reacted with yawning emojis. Henry Cejudo says, "Wouldn't want to be a judge right now." He followed up with Ulberg versus Yuri next. Book it. Joaquin Buckley also thought the fight was close, but ultimately gave it to Ulberg. Angela Hill thought Jan Blachowicz got robbed. And Corey Anderson, whose last fight in the UFC was a first-round knockout loss to Jan Blachowicz back in 2020, reacted saying, "UFC fans hate my style because I spend the majority of my time going for takedowns and ground and pound. But every fight I go for it. Start fast and finish fast, never playing it safe. Many times I win, a few times I go to sleep, but this waiting to counter-strike style is thumbs down." He followed up with, "Don't agree with that decision. I thought Ulberg would win, but I don't think he did. Ran the whole fight trying to counter. Jan controlled the cage from start to finish."
Yeah, it's also surreal to get a win against Jan Blachowicz, a former champion, very well-established fighter, and a good man inside and outside the octagon. It's good to get that win, and I'm glad I got to step in the octagon with a veteran like him. You could definitely see the the power and the ability that Jan had, well, the experience that Jan had in this fight. It was very tough to touch, very hard to locate, but he was very sharp as well. So he's experienced, and you know, when you come up the ranks, you got to look out for things like that. So I'm definitely gonna go back home, work on some things, and then come back and hopefully get a title shot or something. I have what it takes to stand in there with fighters. They just they can't see me, but I'm just working, and I'm learning on the job as well. But with that said, when you're coming up against guys who are in the top division, you're just learning, or you're just adapting. So I'm still adapting to different styles. With Jan today, what we wanted to work on was just touch and move and make sure he didn't get that leg and attempt the takedown. So I'm happy we got that. We're just trying to get the points, and eventually he would walk into something, but he was smart enough not to. So yeah, fair play to him that he didn't walk into the right hand, but I know that I touched him a fair few times and it opened him up a bit.
And for the main event, Sean Brady defeated Leon Edwards via guillotine choke in the 4th round. UFC welterweight champion Belal Muhammad was trash-talking Leon for the entirety of the fight. He wrote, "Everyone has an off night when the bully's in front of them. What time is it in London?" Asking for Leon, "Don't let him bully you, son." Leon's still on 5 a.m. time zone. Just how good is Belal Muhammad? Before the 4th round started, Belal said Leon's going to need a big motivational speech this round. And after the fight, he wrote, "Sean copied my homework. Headshot dead." He ended it off reposting this. On March 19th, Belal said, "This guy's full of excuses. That's why Brady will beat him. I predict once Brady gets him down 2 or 3 times, he'll find a submission because Leon's weak mentally and he'll have flashbacks from what I did to him." Belal wrote, "Bully's always right." Joaquin Buckley reacted saying, "Congrats, Sean. If Usman don't want no smoke, what you think about Brady Bunch versus Buck?" Gilbert Burns reacted saying, "Great win by Sean Brady." Stephen Thompson says, "Wow, the relentless grappling of Brady is unreal. Congrats." Alan Joban reacted saying that was impressive. Kevin Ioli thought it was one of the best performances he's seen in a long time. And Henry Cejudo thinks Sean Brady should fight Shavkat Rakhmonov next.
No, to be honest, I literally took this fight the day I got out of the hospital with my wife, with our newborn baby. I knew this was a fight that I could do that in. I know I can do that against anybody in the division. I just showed that against one of the most prestigious champions as of recently. So yeah, I think I belong in the top 3, top 1 for sure.
And that's going to wrap it up for the news. Thanks for watching. For daily MMA news and content, subscribe to Full Mount MMA and click the bell icon to be notified when we post videos.
Here are the 3 top comments from last video. The first one's in reference to Paddy Pimblett running into Ilia Topuria. It's from Cal and Friends. It says, "Paddy thinking he strikes the slightest bit of fear into Ilia's heart is the confidence I need in my life." The second one's from Armando. It says, "Strip Jones ASAP." And the final one's from Squidfather. It says, "UFC is just losing credibility every week Aspinall versus Jones isn't booked."
Those were the 3 top comments from last video. If you want to be featured in the next one, all you have to do is comment down below. And if you missed yesterday's news, click the video on screen right now to get caught up.